Hello, hello, everyone.
Hello, everyone. Hello, everyone.
Ooh,
Hello, everyone.
my bad. We are getting started. I am waiting on Big Papa. This is Jay. We are getting our broadcast going for this evening. Let me just check one more thing here and make sure we're live in the right places. Let's see here. I was doing a little bit of Amazon shopping, y'all. Okay. For this evening. All right, we sound good. Cool. Sending out some tweets, making sure everybody likes and shares the space, please. We'll go back here. Okay. Yes. Good, very good. Okay. All right, we're just gonna give it a few more minutes. We do have quite a show, y'all. It looks like Big Papa just came in. Okay. Let me go ahead and invite her. Yeah.
Hello.
Hey,
Hey.
I'm going to send you the co-host.
Okay.
Just sent it. Hi,
Yep,
Big
I got it.
Papa.
Hi.
So we are live. Let me just make sure you're coming through clear on YouTube. The co-host. All
Okay.
right. Yep. You sound good. All right. Very good. So we're good on all audio. Nice and clear. How you doing?
I'm doing good. I'm just sharing out the live. So everyone share, share, share.
Yep.
Um um, Hello?
Yep.
Okay. All right. So I shared it on Instagram and on my
Okay.
story. I tagged you.
All right. Cool. All right. So yeah, let's go ahead and get into it.
Okay, well, welcome to the Truth, Power, and Perspectives podcast. Today is August the 3rd of 2025, and I am one of your lovely co-hosts on this amazing show, Big Papa,
And
and
I'm
y'all.
Jay.
Correct.
Your other co-host for our
The
broadcast
other
this
co-hosts,
evening.
yes. We are live streaming on X and on YouTube. So if you are listening in, go ahead and hit that subscribe button. If you haven't, go ahead and hit the thumbs up on the live stream on YouTube and share us out so that others can listen to the show and join our family here.
And we also have a poll going on right now in the post section on YouTube. It is also on the uh, TPP page on X that you can go to, and it's also on the YouTube page under the post section. So definitely go check that out, y'all.
Yes, and also hit your notification bell so you can be notified when we go live. Our live stream dates are can be sporadic throughout the week, so definitely turn on your notification bells and you'll be notified when we are scheduling a live, as well as follow our socials where we will
Hmm.
definitely be posting there. Um, our podcast posters, etc., etc.
Yeah.
So we have a full show today. Hopefully, we're going to try to squeeze it all in within an hour and a half. And yeah, so how has your week been,
Like
Jay?
like you said, it's just been busy, very busy. Real estate wise, very active. Tons of different projects on the horizon. So yeah, staying very busy. Fortunately, here in here in the real estate world in my area, so can't complain. Very
Okay,
tiresome, but very busy.
all right. And of course, we'll go deeper into your real estate stuff. And at the bottom of the show, we will have, a real estate news and get some
Ooh,
opinions from our real estate person that we have on staff here,
hmm. Yes, indeed.
which is Jay. So
Yeah,
definitely stay tuned for the end of the show.
cool, cool.
Um, all right. So, do you want to go from the top of the agenda?
Yeah, so I don't see the things I had sent in a text message here. So, or did you wait? You did
Wait,
update it.
yeah,
Okay, you
yeah,
did
I
update it.
updated it
Okay,
and
all
everything is
right,
there.
cool. Well, yeah, we can start from the top down then.
Okay.
So it looks like we have here. Um, well, let's go with the national news first. Let's do some current events down
Okay.
here where you have finance. We'll start with that. So the Fed keeps interest rates same despite pressure from the White House. This is an article from the BBC that we're pulling up, BBC News. Um, this was from the 31st of July. The U.S. Central Bank has kept interest rates unchanged despite pressure from President Donald Trump to lower borrowing costs. The decision, which was widely expected, left the Federal Reserve's key lending rate between 4.25% and 4.5%, where it stood since December. Um, so, we can continue to read on, but the pressure from the White House was on Chairman Powell because a lot of people have been saying that Donald Trump is trying to fire him. Donald Trump can't fire the chairman of the Fed because he has no power over that. But in
Mhm.
this new world that we're living in, he's putting this extra pressure to try to get things to go the way that he wants because it'll make him and his buddies rich when you lower interest rates so that more people are borrowing money and out there spending money that they don't really
Mhm.
have. Right now, the rates being where they are, people are still buying, but it's at a more controlled rate, I would say. Like you have the people that really have to be out here doing stuff. It's not so much frivolous spending as you saw back in 2020 through up to 2023, I would say, where people was just doing all kinds of weird shit with money.
Yeah.
Yeah. So,
Um.
yeah, go ahead.
I would say that there was a um. Hold on. There was a meeting with it was Powell and Trump.
Mm, yeah, that was very interesting and hilarious. Uh oh, what did I do?
both talking about finances, etc., etc. Trump was lying, saying different numbers that he had no idea what it was all about. And Powell checked him in front of the news press, um, inflating numbers, saying different properties were valued at some high amount when it really wasn't.
Hmm.
So I think that Powell is doing good at staying strong with, um, you know, keeping the rates the way that they are and bucking up against Trump and keeping our economy, um, realistic and not inflating information, not bending the knee to what Trump and the higher ups want. So shout out to Powell for staying strong
Hmm.
and holding down his position, and just being honest about where the economy is right now.
Yeah, he showed no fear. And that was important because so many of these politicians and people in positions of power just seem to not stand up to Trump. I mean, you
Mhm.
had in that same instance that you're referring to, you had Tim Scott, the coon from South Carolina, the Senator Coon, Tim Scott from South Carolina, who was standing next to Trump, uh, trying to co-sign his nonsense about the building and how much it cost and things like that. Just looking foolish, you know. It's just so much of that happening that it was refreshing to see someone stand up to Trump right there in that moment. And it should be more of that, but we just live in strange times. It's just disheartening because so much that you see happening doesn't have to happen, but they just do what they want to do. So that was one thing from finance. The US also added 73,000 jobs in July, and numbers for prior months were revised much lower. So that was very interesting. This is an article from CNBC from the 1st of August. Um, Let me go here. Non-farm payroll growth was slower than expected in July, and the unemployment rate ticked higher, raising potential trouble signs for the U.S. labor market as President Donald Trump ramps up tariffs. Job growth totaled a seasonally adjusted 73,000 for the month above June. Excuse me, for the month above the June total of 14,000, but below even the meager Dow Jones estimate for a gain of 100,000. So they thought that there would be 100,000, but there only ended up being 73,000 in new jobs, according to the
Yeah.
Bureau of Labor Statistics. Um, and
Uh,
so, uh huh.
yeah. So I think one of those big issues is in trade. So we're not seeing the numbers there for trade employees, i.e., your plumbers, your HVAC, your electricians, your um, uh, auto mechanics, etc., etc. And I think that the reason why there is, and also there's plenty of like high physician jobs available, but there's not people able to match those physicians. And that's due to, either there's not enough education for someone to fit in that role. Companies are, getting rid of DEI, which means some of these positions were either, shut down where, people were laid off. But, as far as trade goes, I think that we would have had people to fill in those positions had he have not closed down Job Corps, yes, Job Corps for it is had its minuses, but the pluses in that was that we had people who were training for trade positions in Job Corps, you know?
It's okay. They'll just send them
So
to war. That's the goal, I think.
yeah, so a lot of those jobs were trade, as well as a lot of those positions that were lost was from a lot of the cuts that Trump is doing in the different departments.
So, reading from the article, this is the slowdown that we've been expecting, said Luke Tilley, chief economist at Wilmington Trust. Firms are facing a very different cost structure. They need to adapt to a new cost structure, which means holding off on hiring. There are a
Hmm.
few signs of strength in the July job count, with gains coming primarily from healthcare, a sector that has continued to show strength in the post COVID recovery. The group added 55,000 jobs, easily leading the way out of the 75,000. Social assistance also contributed 18,000 jobs. The two sectors combined for some 94% of the job growth. Holy crap. Retail added nearly 16,000 jobs, and the financial sector was up 15,000. However, federal government employment continued to decline, down 12,000 for the month and 84,000 since its July peak before Elon Musk's Department of Government Efficiency began paring down the job roles.
Hmm.
So it's all connected. I mean, they shouldn't be surprised. They're adding all of these different tariffs and causing insecurity in the market or unease, which is one of the things the markets do not like. These are the same markets that these companies believe work from the top down when it comes to money. So if they're uneasy, and as we just read in this article from CNBC, they're going to hold off on hiring. So that's going to affect the people that need jobs, which are the one of the big things that these politicians like to push. Oh, we're going to get you jobs. We're going to get you this. We're going to get you that. But yet and still you put pressure on these companies that you rely on to get people these jobs. And then uh, when you have people that work in the federal government, which is the largest employer in the United States, and then you go and start cleaning house, what do you expect to happen? And then when people have to adjust numbers because they were one thing and now they're not, I mean, I don't think it's a surprise, which the article kind of alludes to that. It wasn't, this is when it says this is what they were expecting. They knew this was coming. So what's the shock?
Hmm.
But that's where if Trump hears something bad, he then has to go and lash out. And apparently, some woman lost her job, the lady who was over the department or whatever that was getting the numbers, the statistics or whatever. So she was the sacrificial lamb and all this stuff. So it's all part of the dog and pony show that they like to do.
Yeah, I put that in the third link there.
Oh well, so we can
Trump
go right
calls
into.
for firing of senior labor official after job market weakens in July.
Yeah. Will you want to go ahead and get into that one then?
Yeah, I can let me. Okay, so this is another article from the from NPR,
Hmm.
and it was updated August the 1st. So it says the U.S. labor market was substantially weaker in the spring and early summer, according to a report Friday from the Labor Department. Employers added far fewer jobs than initially reported. The job market weakened sharply during the late spring and early summer as President Trump's tariffs began to take effect And Trump responded by calling for the firing of a key labor statistician. So, yes, statistician. U.S. employers added just 73,000 jobs in July, according to a report Friday, while job gains for May and June were largely erased. The unemployment rate inched up to 4.2%. Hours after the report, Trump advanced baseless claims about the jobs numbers, writing on social media that he thought they were rigged in order to make the Republicans and me look bad. In another post, Trump said he was firing Erica uh, McAntifer, the head of the Bureau of Labor Statistics, which puts out the jobs report. So Erica was appointed to the job by former President Joe Biden. So as we know, anything that Joe Biden is doing, he wants them to get rid of it. So he's saying that she will be replaced with someone much more competent and qualified. Trump added, important numbers like this must be fair and accurate. They can't be manipulated for political purposes.
Mhm.
So, data experts have raised concerns about the integrity of U.S. government statistics under the Trump administration, which has been slashing positions and funding for statistical agencies. Erica's term at the Bureau of Labor Statistics was not set to end until early 2028. Federal law, however, allows presidents to remove commissioners of labor statistics before their 4 year term is up.
Mhm.
So you guys can definitely continue to read that article, but that is just a gist of Captain Cheeto in command, how he also wants someone to bend the knee and lie to the American people that, that everything is doing great. America's big and beautiful. We have all of these amazing deals, and, we're bringing so much money in, and, and the people who were in positions to tell the truth, just like Powell is. He is getting rid of those that he has the power to get rid of, so he can put some reality star in the position who knows nothing about statistics or the job labor market at all
Mhm.
into the position and tell them what he wants put out instead
Yeah.
of the truth.
No, absolutely. And the other thing to this that I think um is that you had so much going on with, especially with these federal job positions where people were on uh reduced workforce, but they weren't fired, so they were like still employed, but then one day they just were fired. Like, you had a lot of that going on. So I can
Yes.
understand why some of these numbers, especially when it comes to that, weren't accurate. Not that I'm defending any of these people. I'm just saying I could see how things got manipulated. But again, this is all because you got all this nonsense going on and uncertainty. And again, the markets are aware that these numbers were going to be all kinds of screwed up. But here it is, the president's not getting the right information. So at the same breath, I could understand where the frustration comes from, but there's also a lot of moving parts to that thing too. So I don't know. I don't know. But it is interesting to see. And like you said, more than likely, whoever is going to be in the position next is going to just be a yes man that's going to put down whatever to make the president happy. So,
Correct.
mhm. um, moving on to more current events, national news. North Carolina Rep. Carla Cunningham. We're in the state of North Carolina, so this is super relevant. She catches backlash from supporting ICE and votes with Republicans on a veto that the governor had. So I'm pulling up a local article from WSOC TV. This is one of the local news channels here in Charlotte. Um, 8 bills will become law over the objection of North Carolina Governor Josh Stein. So one thing that a lot of our listeners should know is that North Carolina has this unique ability where the House and Senate, the Senate, the state can override governor veto. That's unique to North Carolina. Other states don't have that. Normally, what the governor says is what the governor, that's the last thing for a state. But
Mhm.
the North Carolina legislator has basically made the governor, they chopped the governor's balls off, in my opinion. But whatever. This is North Carolina. It is what it is. They made it so. The governor had a veto, and they basically overrode the veto, and it was all Republicans and this Democrat, um, Charlotte Democrat rep Carla Cunningham. She delivered some remarks in her speech, she had a speech before the vote, before she cast her vote, basically. And the long and short of it, if you want to adapt to my country, not isolate yourself and come here legally, I welcome you. Basically, she was saying she's fine with immigration, just come here legally and, you'll be fine. That caused a lot of backlash because, for one, Charlotte is one of these quote unquote sanctuary, non-sanctuary cities where they just allow a lot of stuff to go down because there's a huge population of immigrants here that may or may not be legal. So, like a lot of these other large Democrat ran cities, they have very liberal people here. And again, this rep, she's a Democrat. So you can imagine a lot of her quote unquote supporters did not appreciate her rhetoric. But again, that's where I think a lot of these people that are your so-called liberal allies really show their true racism the moment that you don't go along with their nonsense. What do you think about that, Big Papa?
Well, I don't think that she said anything wrong. I mean, she's in a position that is associated to the government, which is ran by rules and law. And I mean, I don't think that she said anything incorrect. I mean, I am the liberal co host of this podcast. I am definitely more on the liberal side. However, I do believe that um, immigrants should come here legally and not illegally, regardless of the situation. But I just believe that if immigrants are to come here legally, if that's what we want, we should um, have a better way in which that we process legal immigrants. And taking 15 plus years to become a legal, alien here, that process needs to be changed. But as far as her losing support, um, I think that, you know, maybe that is coming from people who are seeing children locked up in handcuffs and chains because they were here, following behind their parents who came here illegally as well, or, seeing people being taken up from the streets with men with face masks, etc., etc. So, you have that subset of very liberal people who will push back on that, but I don't disagree with what she said. I
I
mean,
want
there's
to.
there's there's different. I'm sorry. There's different sections of you have the very liberal, you have the liberal, and then you have the independent, and you have uh the less conservative, and then you have the ultra conservative, and then you have MAGA, you know? And so, um, I think what our party has an issue with being a Democrat is understanding that there is two sides of a coin in a
There's a
party.
spectrum.
Yeah, and so just because you are a Democrat, it doesn't mean that you are going to be this very liberal Democrat. Everything should be able to everybody should be able to do whatever, and
Hmm.
it should not be that. There are laws and rules in place, and at the end of the day, our um our system is not matching what it needs to survive. So we need immigrants, we need the labor, but then we don't have a very good system in place to um, position these immigrants to go through it the right way.
Well, I'll
So that's
have a
my
little
opinion.
pushback on as far as needing the labor. We've got plenty of labor, but we don't need their labor. There's people here that are trying to do all kinds of check scams right now that could be doing some actual labor. They're trying to make some money. So
Well, I think
that's a
that,
whole nother
like I'm
topic.
saying, yeah, I think that's all a part of the system is that okay, well,
Right.
if we do have the labor here, we have people who want to do the labor, well, then there needs to be a system in place that these Americans who are going to do labor are going to get paid
Hmm.
the amount that they need to survive. And I'm not saying $10.50 an hour.
Right.
I
Yeah.
mean, that is also associated to the national hourly wage. In North Carolina, it's still $7.50 an hour. Yet y'all run down here
Mhm.
to get homes in Charlotte, where the minimum wage is still $7.50 an hour.
Yeah.
So it's a way bigger picture than just immigration,
Right.
but it has to have um, a whole new change to the system from the top to the bottom if you want Americans to do work.
Well,
You know.
I agree 100% with that, and that's where unfortunately our elected officials are part of the problem because they make money off of the very problem that we're talking about. Um, I also want to talk about when you're talking about how the ICE agents are coming and snatching up the people, whatever. Um, Not whatever, but they doing that stuff. Part of the problem, which also goes back to your elected officials, is again these sanctuary cities where instead of allowing ICE to go into the prisons and work with the local police, they have made it very hard in some instances, especially when we talk about places like California, New York, again, very Democrat, left, strong left leaning places. Instead of working with the federal government, they have made it harder for the federal government to go in and do their job. And so that's why you're seeing a lot of this stuff that you're seeing. And again, your elected officials in these places, they know this. They know that this is going to be bad optics wise. They don't care. They don't care about the people's safety. They want all of this madness to go on and make it look like people getting snatched up and this, that, and the third. When the reality is, it doesn't have to be this way. All they have to do is allow them into the prisons and jails and stuff where they're already at, not release them back into the public, where they have to go get scooped up like, some madness that you see in the movie or whatever, which is what people are talking about. But again, these people in these places say, no, 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 you can't be in our prisons and jails. So then they got to go get them people out there in the street, and it looks bad. But these people are all part of the problem. If they just said, all right, yeah, go into jails and get the bad people that we have already arrested, But again, you don't see this kind of treatment for blacks. I always bring it back to the black conversation because there's no way you can avoid that conversation when you see all this happening. I mean, you've got cases where black people are still getting mistreated by police at police stops, you know, and things like that. And then these people want to sit here and talk about masked men coming and grabbing them up, but you ain't never heard no stuff where they get roughed up like we get roughed up by police. And we've always been getting roughed up by police. So, and they have a lot more pushback, and they be shooting back and doing all kinds of stuff to these ICE agents. So, I just
And for those, I'm sorry.
no, I was just gonna say I don't. My sympathy level is just not quite the same as others.
And for those listeners who are saying, well, why does everything have to result back to race? Everything results back to race because y'all made it about race with everything from day one. So race will be discussed on
Mhm.
almost every topic because y'all made it about race from the beginning.
Okay. Period.
So I'm just gonna go ahead and put that out there because I know a white listener or a white adjacent listener will be listening and
Suspected white
say, "Oh my
supremacists.
God," and say, "Oh my God, why does it have to be about race? It's
Oh
about
my
race because y'all made it
god.
about race."
This is how it
Okay,
is about
and you
release.
can add me if you want to get down, want to brawl over this topic. You can add me on X, and you can add me on YouTube in the comments. Definitely put your comments down below if you want to talk further. We can battle in the comments.
I love it. Hilarious. Big Papa in the house. Moving on to our next topic in national news. Brutal arrest of black student in Florida shows benefits of recording police from new vantage point. Just as we were talking about. This is from ABC News. Let's see. A video that captured the brutal arrest of a black college student pulled from his car and beaten by officers in Florida has led to an investigation. Calls for motorists to consider protecting themselves by placing a camera inside their vehicle. William McNeil Jr. captured his February traffic stop on his cell phone camera, which was mounted above his dashboard. It offered a unique view, providing the only clear footage of the violence by officers, including punches to his head that can't clearly be seen in officer body cam footage released by the Jacksonville Sheriff's Office. Since McNeil had the foresight to record the encounter from inside the vehicle, we got to see firsthand and hear firsthand and put in all context what driving while black in America, said civil rights attorney Ben Crump. Now, y'all know if you listen to our broadcast, I'm no fan of Ben Ambulance Chaser Crump. But sometimes the man does come in clutch. I ain't gonna lie. All the young people should be recording these interactions with law enforcement, Crump said, because what it tells us, just like with George Floyd, if we don't record the video, we can see what they put on the police report with George Floyd before they realized the video existed. Same thing. So, like, they like to lie and misrepresent. I've seen police reports even for an accident, a car accident, and I'm like, well, that thing is all wrong. They do it all the time. I mean, at the end of the day, these people are human. It is what it is. But obviously, they will look out for their own interests. So,
And for our black listeners, if you do have an iPhone, this is by any means no promotion for Apple or anybody over there. But there is a shortcut on your iPhone to record by video and mic during a traffic stop. You just have to set that up. I have that set up on my device. I'm not your tech guru, so you can Google it, but there is a shortcut in the iPhone to record these traffic stops. The main thing is to not allow your adrenaline to pump so much that you forget everything. You know,
yeah, and I'm a huge advocate for dash cameras as well. It's also a good perspective to have of what happens before the interaction altogether as well. So, yeah. Again, this is just another instance of being black in America and how we get treated by police. And so, going back to my point earlier, where my level of sympathy isn't quite the same when it comes to these people that are being snatched up by ICE, where it doesn't have to be that way because, again, your politicians are the ones that are making it the way that it is. So, until we address the first problem that we have in America, which is how black people are treated in this country, don't expect me to feel some type of way about how others are being treated because we've been treated terrible for ever and it's not changed. And that's the problem. Nobody wants to be treated like how we've been treated in this country. So much so that these idiots went and voted the way that they voted and now want to sit there and say, oh my God, we thought that we're all in this together. No, hold your own nuts. Keep it moving.
Okay. Where are we on time?
um, 42 minutes.
Okay, so this is a good intermission. We're gonna start doing intermissions in the middle of the show. So if you are liking the show, go ahead and give us a thumbs up. Comment down below if you are on our YouTube live stream. Let us know that you are here. Put
Yes.
some black hearts, black fist in the chat so we know you are tuning into the show. Go ahead and share us out. If you are listening to get other people into the conversation, if you're on X, go ahead and leave us a comment, join in on the stream, and we would love to bring you up on the mic to hear some of your opinions. If you would like to follow the both of us separately, I am located at Mimi the Great on all socials. And Jay,
At JCJ08STA 08 still on X
yes,
and um, at the Whirlwind Lancer on Instagram. And then, of course, you just Google J. Jordan Deluxe Realty. You just, J. Jordan Deluxe Realty. Google me. I'm
yes,
Googleable.
and we have open slots for special guests to come in on the show. You would just want to reach out to us. Our links are in the link tree, so you can definitely reach out to us for a, special guest shot. I mean, special guest spot on the next show. We're also open to doing panels. If you would like to promote your product on our show, reach out to us. We will definitely reach back out to you and see what we can do to help you or your brand.
Yes,
And
indeed.
of course, this episode is powered by,
J. Jordan
uh,
Deluxe Realty LLC.
yes, so we will go deeper into all of the things that Jay provides for the market in a state near you.
Cool.
Okay.
I
All
love
right.
it.
So we can continue on. Where do you want to go from here?
Let's get into one of our big topics.
Okay.
Since we've gotten through most of our national news. Um, Kamala Harris decided not to run for California governor race. Now, this was speculated. A lot of people were saying that she would make a decision by fall. Come to find out, she made a decision this last week. My guess due to a lot of pressure. So we have NBC News. Former Vice President Kamala Harris will not run for governor of California. She announced Wednesday, ending months of speculation after her defeat to Donald Trump in the presidential race last year. She's quoted, "In the recent months, I've given serious thought to asking the people of California for the privilege to serve as their governor," Harris said in a prepared statement. God, she loves those. "I love this state, its people, and its promise. It's my home. But after deep reflection, I've decided that I will not run for governor in this election." Oh, in this election. "For now, my leadership and public service will not be in elected office," she continued. "I look forward to getting back out and listening to the American people." Helping elect Democrats across the nation who will fight fearlessly and sharing more details in the months ahead about my own plans. Yeah. So who the hell wants to lose with her? So, ladies and gentlemen, we have a poll, as I mentioned earlier, on YouTube. Let's see where we're at if we have any more. So we're 50-50 right now. The question, there are the options rather. Kamala Harris is not going to run for president in 2028. Kamala Harris will run for president in 2028. Kamala Harris needs to sit down somewhere away from politics, period. Capital PEROID. So far we have one for Kamala needs to sit down somewhere away from politics, and one for Kamala is not going to run for president in 2028, which she says she's not going to run for president or elected office. This is the part that I don't understand. She says she's looking forward to getting back out and listening to the American people, helping elect Democrats across the nation who will fight for. You didn't do that when you were running, so what makes you think you're gonna help other people win? Like, who wants to take tips from somebody that didn't win? It's not a good strategy in my opinion. What do you think, Big Papa?
I think that her association to the Democratic Party will, at some point, I guess, boost um, the Democratic base, because there are people who still support her and are fans of Kamala Harris, as well as, she is still remaining relevant in when Trump says things and does things that Kamala has said in, plenty of her debates or speeches or TV appearances. So she is still being relevant in today's time as far as Republicans versus Democrats. Do I believe that they need her support in any way, or will their support change? Um, Anyone's already deciding what they're going to do in the midterms or as far as 2028. No, but I think that she is trying to give some hope to those people who are still following her very closely, who are on the liberal side and
So
who
it sounds like
possibly
symbolism.
identify, huh?
It sounds like symbolism.
Okay.
I mean, you just said like she's trying to give hope to her followers. Well, that's not what the Democrat Party needs. They don't need hope. They need people that's going to be adding to their party to vote for them. They don't
Well,
need to
that's
be
what I'm
preaching to
saying.
the
I'm not
choir. They
saying
need to be
hope.
trying to get new blood into their party, but they can't do that when they still rely on old, dead, tried, don't ain't nobody trying to really hear what she got to say that's not already listening to her type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't think she's gonna be bringing anybody new to the party. Is my point.
No, I don't think that she'll be doing that, like bringing anyone in new.
And
However,
that's my point. Like, if she's
keeping the
gonna be
gas in the
helping,
car.
but if she's gonna be helping people that's running right now, that they need new people that's gonna vote for them.
Yeah. And so,
I don't think she's
I
gonna be
think,
able to do that. As we
okay.
just already came to that conclusion that that's not what she does. But if you just want to bring her around to, like, again, like the Obama class of people that, you know,
Well, that's what I'm saying. Like
but
Barack
ain't
Obama
nobody
is not
listening to Barack
bringing new
Obama.
people to,
No.
Barack Obama is not bringing new people into the party.
And
So
you
it's,
also
in my
need
opinion, I'm sorry.
black men, okay? And part of the problem is people like Barack Obama and Kamala Harris have turned off the appeal to black men. Like you have a lot of old black men and women that love that shit, and you have a lot of black women that love that shit. But as far as black men that are about something, they see clean through all that garbage. And that's where it gets back to that symbolism of just making people feel decent and good and all that. We've seen that that doesn't work. You have to bring something to the table, because after you've gotten people to feel good and they vote for you, then what? The people should expect something for their vote. If they're gonna be standing in line for 2, 3 hours to vote for these clowns, what you gonna get out of it? Feeling good just so that the other person doesn't win? I mean, I don't know. That's just where I'm at
Well,
with
I
it.
think that's the difference between and a lot of critics that I see on independent radio stations as far and you know Republican stations is that if Democrats want to move forward and reclaim our place in the White House, that we have to get down and dirty and stop being in the feelings pool and being the fight fire with fire pool. So, I just think that it's whatever she's saying is fueling her support and her base. We all know she has a book getting ready to come out, so I'm sure she
Oh,
will
there you go.
be
That's why
talking
she didn't
about
crawled out
that.
of that
She
hole.
also
I
she
didn't know she
also
had a book.
had well, yeah, a book is getting ready to come out, and she was on a late night show, I think, with Colbert, and she did give us a tip during that Colbert interview. She was talking about using AirPods on the train, and she said that she's been in a lot of security meetings, that we aren't able to see from the public, and she said that AirPods can be tapped into when you are using Bluetooth wirelessly. So she was talking about how she prefers to use wired headphones when she's like listening to music or she's talking on the phone, etc., etc. Wired headphones can't be tapped into, however, Bluetooth headphones can be. So
Yeah.
I did see that earlier. I thought that was, if you were listening and paying attention, she's telling you without telling you that that Bluetooths are great. They're very convenient, but if you are being private and you think that your conversation can't be tapped into because you got an iPhone, Bluetooth can be tapped into.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if y'all
So
remember, but Edward Snowden basically let everyone know that back in 2010. So, yeah. This
so
isn't new,
but
but yeah, she just reminded people, I guess. But if you never
yeah,
heard that before, there you go.
right.
Mama,
So
Mama will let y'all know that. There you go. Mama.
so as a former vice president, you know, is out there. She's not gonna run, and so
And that's my
what
thing. You were the
the
vice president of the United States. You. I think a lot of people would be okay with that. Like you can go out even still after all of this shit. You can still go off gracefully. You don't have to look foolish, any more foolish than you already have. You were the vice president of the United. You were the first woman, the first quote unquote black woman vice president of the United States. That is a huge accomplishment in that of itself. You should have a platform that you can go from C to signing she and really use that platform to do something good, not like what Obama did, but like use it for good. But instead, that just goes to show what she's all about. That ain't what she's interested in. She ain't interested in that.
Okay. So, um, that's pretty much all we can get from that topic is that she's not running. If you got your hopes up, she's not doing it. Cut her on her book tour.
She got
Okay.
to sell them books. Child,
Our
my
next
God,
topic
today.
is which one do you want to? I guess I can do the Epstein files because I have it.
Okay.
I have a slight summary of that.
All right.
Um, can you hear me?
Yeah, I hear
Okay, hold on 1 second.
you. Hmm.
Pulling
Epstein.
that up.
Epstein. Oh, the PDF file incident. Good Lord.
Okay, so we talked briefly about the Epstein files in the last episode.
Yes.
So
Nothing to see here.
you can definitely go back to that to see uh, where we are. So yeah, so we left with there is no client list from Pam Bondi. And so they were saying that they found no evidence in the blackmail files. And so the DOJ later walked back earlier claims from February that Bondi had personally reviewed or held the alleged list, clarifying Bondi's reference was to general case files, not a literal list of clients. Um, so there is a bipartisan group in the Congress, including Representative Rokana and Thomas Massey, has proposed forcing a House vote to compel DOJ to release the files, potentially overriding DOJ resistance. The House of Oversight Committee, chaired by Representative James Comer, has yet to formally issue a subpoena for the files, raising questions about enforcement momentum. In a shift, the DOJ has petitioned to unseal grand jury transcripts from the Epstein and Maxwell sex trafficking cases, citing public interest while promising to protect victim identities. And then, a lot of things have came up with the Maxwell situation.
Jazane.
So, yes. So since August 2025, Maxwell has been housed at the Bryan, Texas Federal Prison Camp, a low security facility, after cooperating with Deputy AG Todd Blanche and reportedly naming 100 associates of Epstein. The transfer stirred controversy over policy exceptions and her safety concerns. So basically, she was in a maximum security prison
Mm.
prior to her meeting with them for 9 hours or whatever. Since then she has been transferred to a low security prison that is smaller where she can pretty much do whatever she wants. So she got on her knees and
Mm.
did what she has been doing,
My
um
Lord.
bending over.
Oh, wow.
So she did file an appeal challenging her conviction under Epstein's 2007 plea deal that is ongoing, and she has reportedly sought a presidential pardon, which she has said since Trump put out there that, I mean, since Bondi has put out that there is no Epstein lists or files or whatever, she is trying to get her case dropped. That because there's no lists or no files, why is she in prison? So that is going on. Let's see here. As of right now, MAGA Mike Johnson,
Mm.
he has shut down the House for August. They'll be back. When is it? The middle of September?
I think yeah, yeah, probably yeah, middle of September sounds about right. Yeah.
Yeah, so they'll be back middle September. They had to um, come up with something to make people uh, s- stop asking
Hmm.
to release the files in Congress. So MAGA Mike Johnson is another one who's bending the knees and giving
Mm.
Daddy what he wants. So, what the media has to do at this point, the left leaning media or the media who cares about women getting raped, molested, etc., is keep the momentum going as far as not dropping um, the issue with these Epstein files. And Trump has went overseas to Scotland, I believe,
Yeah.
to visit one of his golf courses where he was caught cheating. But a con is going to con. While he was playing golf, and of course he was talking to the news, running his mouth over there. And as of right now, the media has to keep it going. Trump is trying to change gears with his own uh MAGA support and try to get them off of the topic of the Epstein files, like filing an investigation into Barack Obama and what he has done, and um, and plenty of other things. You can Google that information. But as of right now, we are at a standstill with the files and what will be released and what isn't. We know that Trump's name got redacted from the files, that Pam Bondi hired in or got some employees together to go through all of the files and pull Donald Trump's name out of the files. So we know that that has been admitted in the news, and it's still a working topic in the news. So as more updates come, we will definitely mention those in the case, because I am not going to let up on uh the Epstein files, and nobody knows who is in it, who was doing it, who was a part of it, who was able to go back and forth and use and abuse these girls who were of lower income and needed money to survive. So any updates, I'll definitely let you all know in the next podcast.
Well, I think they should just go ahead and kind of start spilling the beans, but that's just me.
Right. And I mean, it really is bipartisan, because at the end of the day, it doesn't matter Democrat or Republican, criminal, non-criminal, rapper, actress, actor,
Hmm.
CEO. It doesn't matter what position that these people are in. The world needs to know who's doing what. If y'all did all of that for Diddy, and
Hmm.
who was involved with in the Diddy case, and you're pulling celebrities out of nowhere who's all listed on this and that, then y'all need to do that for these Epstein files
I
and
agree.
let it be known who likes these young girls, who's willing to um
Pay all this
have
money to get them flued
pay
out
all
and do
the
all this stuff on some weird island. Good lord.
right, and have 14, 15, 16 year olds to play around with in the bed. So it's a very disgusting situation. We all know that Pam Bondi is once again bending the knee to Trump and trying to keep him happy. But I don't think that we are going to lose focus on who's on the list and who's not. The base might try to lose focus, but as far as the rest of the public, we're not going to lose focus on who's on it and who isn't.
Right. Yeah. Keep up the fight. Keep up the fight.
And of
Man,
course,
oh man.
any Epstein comments, comment down below with your opinions on everything. Definitely, we would love to read your comments.
Yes, yes, please. Please share and definitely click the link and join our X space and add your comments.
Okay.
um, you want to move on to woman arrested after buying a Lamborghini while getting Medicaid benefits? Damn.
Oh, well, I thought since we were going to talk about sexual harassing women, we could go into Shannon Sharpe.
Oh, sure. Sure. NFL
um,
star Shannon Sharpe dropped by ESPN after settling sexual assault SA case. Excuse me. Go ahead.
uh, well, yeah. So, as we know, Shannon Sharpe was got a lawsuit from him messing around with them white women. And unfortunately,
Damn, girl.
he found the right white woman that was gonna get him for 50 million. He didn't want to listen to a black sister Monique telling him that. He didn't want to listen to a black brother Cat Williams telling him to stop messing around with them white women. And now he's gotten caught. And
Cat Williams
honestly,
said a white woman will take you down in 2 weeks. Good God.
correct. And so it is done. I say. And so not only
Damn.
did you have to write this lady a $50 million check, now you done lost your job on top of that. I mean, granted, I guess your his little podcast is still he still probably has his DraftKings promotion, etc., etc.
For how much longer,
But
though?
right, for how much longer we don't know. But I think that really, and I can tell y'all what the streets are saying. The streets are saying that the it's crazy how far a popular black man will go to prove that he isn't gay. Okay,
Oh my
so
God.
if you really want to roll it back, this whole him dating this person and that person situation came up. It started with him and his um, designer, or his um the person who dresses him. I
Hmm.
forgot what they're called, but the person who dresses him.
Stylist.
Yeah, okay, his stylist. So all of that started with his stylist, which wasn't a gay man. He was seen going to games and hanging out with his gay stylist. Rumors started to spread around that he was gay. Um,
Gay?
so so I mean, and granted, he was wearing some quote unquote, I wouldn't say gay attire, but
I was just gonna say
I
metrosexual.
think that, yeah, metrosexual, or things that I think for his age group he shouldn't be wearing those type of clothes. So it, since the rumor started to swirl around, he ended up firing the stylist. Okay. After that, soon after that, what happens? The phone situation where he's on live telling a girl, ooh, ah, that. So
Yeah.
the storm, now you're trying to prove
The
to
accidental slip
America,
up of
you're
going
right,
on
quote
live
unquote.
after Big Papa. What? How much work we had to do to get on live? How you just slip up to get on live?
It's a lot of work. It's a lot of work to
Okay,
get on live.
okay, okay.
So,
Oopsies! I got
like
on
I'm
live, and I'm in the middle of coitus. Okay, all right, yeah, all right, nigga.
right. So now you're the step that you had to take to prove to people that you like women.
Oh
And
man.
now that you've done that, and now you got all this cred from the public saying, oh, you you mess with this woman, and you did that. Why you do that?
This
And you're
one
getting
and that
dapped up.
one.
Right, you're getting dapped up by your brothers and all of that. Now fast forward, now you got a girl who is willing to put you on Front Street, record your conversation of you telling her that you was gonna choke her and you was gonna do this and you was gonna do
I
that.
want a big black baby in me. Good lord.
And
Oh
now
yeah, I'm gonna give you a big black baby.
she got you for 50
I
million.
surely is.
And so, it's just, and you didn't fight it for the most
Mm-hmm.
part. You gave her what she wanted.
Mm-hmm.
So clearly, some of that had to be true, whether you admit to it or not. It's true. You wrote the check when incident came out about Jay-Z. Jay-Z did not write a check.
Right.
He fought it,
Mm-hmm.
and the case got dismissed.
Right.
So that goes to tell you that even though the spotlight is on him and he had an ESPN deal, he's got a huge podcast on YouTube with different black comedians and other people coming on his show. He has all of this stuff. Still, there's an insecurity about his sex life. You can't get you a black woman. You can't get you a white woman. W- From the street, the gays know what was going on with that stylist. So, it's just a shame that you, as a black man, you have to go through all of that to try to prove your sexuality. When people are living their best life out here being free with who they are.
Mhm. Well, I think part of it is because Shannon comes from just that old school. So they believe they have this image to uphold, which, I mean, image is important, yes, especially when you're going after big money. But that being said, you also have to consider what it looks like when you were a 60-something-year-old man dating a 20-something-year-old.
Right.
Now, you can love who you want to love, yes. But at the same time, when you on that level, you got to move different, brother. You can't do certain things.
Mm. So, yeah, if there's any other updates for firing, we will let you all know. Okay. Sorry, in the words of Kiki Palmer, sorry to that man.
Sorry to that man. Good lord. Damn. Yeah. No, I mean, couldn't put it. Couldn't put that better myself. Okay.
Okay.
Oh man.
So now we're getting to our bizarre news. Just the bizarre things that has
Bizarro.
happened.
Mm.
So what do you want to go into the lady
Sure,
with the
sure.
Lamborghini? Okay, you can take that one.
Lamborghini. Woman arrested after buying Lamborghini. Okay. This is from WAFB local. Not sure which one. It looks like Baton Rouge. A woman has been arrested. You could tell it's from Louisiana. Has been arrested. Okay. A woman has been arrested after allegedly buying a Lamborghini and plastic surgery while receiving Medicaid benefits. A woman has been arrested after allegedly buying a Lamborghini and plastic surgery while receiving Medicaid benefits. According to the Louisiana Attorney General Liz Muriel, Candace Taylor, 35, was booked into the Eastern Baton Rouge Parish Prison for alleged Medicaid recipient fraud. Taylor is accused of using misrepresentation, concealment, and non disclosure of required information to apply for and receive Medicaid benefits, according to authorities. Investigators said Taylor allegedly applied for Medicaid benefits in May 2019 under the alias Candace Saylor. So instead of Candace Taylor, she went under the alias Candace Saylor. That's just lazy. I mean, it's spelled S like sailor, Sailor, and her last name is Taylor. Anyways, reporting her income as $1,900 biweekly and claiming no dependents, the application was denied. But Taylor applied again in 2020 using the same alias. Why would you use a fake name for one? Damn. According to Murrell's office, Taylor, in fact, had multiple businesses between January 2020 and December 2024 that brought in more than 9.5 million. Holy crap. Across many accounts controlled by her. What? After being approved for Medicaid, records show that a bank account for Taylor recorded deposits of more than 480,000 and more than 45,000 in payments to Audi Finance. They added that Taylor also made many six-figure withdrawals via cashier's check to pay for cosmetic surgery, jewelry, property purchase. Damn, she was buying houses and shit. And luxury services. She was getting flued out private jets, honey. In addition, Taylor is accused of making a $100,000 wire transfer to an exotic car dealership and a $13,000 debit card transaction to buy a 2022 Lamborghini. Wow. Talk about balling on a budget. That's crazy. See, that's all part of
Now,
this tax and or not tax, but this fraud and abuse they be talking about.
yes, but I feel like this. I feel like, granted, these businesses started during the pandemic. Okay, so there's probably some EIDL loan fraud mixed up in that too
Oh, I don't doubt
that we
that.
don't know anything about.
Hmm.
But still, you know, if you are a business owner, you're speaking to two, one current business owner and one retired business owner. But I mean, if you want to say content creation is a business, it is a business as
It
well.
is a business.
Um, so
You talking to
my
people with
thing is,
experience.
yes, you're talking to people with experience that know about write-offs.
Hmm.
Granted, she could have been doing a $9 million business and
Not making a
her
dime.
and not making a dime off of it. you know so my thing is that she should have used her name, and if your expenses overrun how much your business is bringing in, then you could have still been qualified for Medicaid. You
Exactly. And
know
see
what I'm saying?
that's why I said why the fuck did she not use her real like what that's the part where she fucked up at I think is just by not using her real name. Like if you just use your real name and like you said Big Papa she had legit shit to write even though she was making, whatever. If she had shit to write off even those cars and shit like whatever.
Mhm.
But she sitting here using fake names and shit. What you think gonna happen? At some point, that alone is fraud in itself. Using a fake name to try to get benefits.
And
That's
you know
what.
what
That's
else?
no.
Go
Go
ahead.
ahead. No, I was just gonna say that's what these illegals. Part of the issue with that and why they looking at these records with so much scrutiny now because of the fact that you have so many illegal non-citizens receiving benefits. That's part of
Yeah.
the fraud and abuse that has been happening, especially over the last 4 years. Excuse me. So yeah, that's what I just was gonna say with it.
Yeah. And so, um that all goes back to the old sayings that everyone does not want good for you. And
Hmm.
I believe it's not just her buying vehicles and, making all of these bank transactions and stuff like that. I'm sure that she ran her mouth to somebody, because
Oh
that's what
yeah,
black folks like to do, and say, well, I'm doing all of this on Medicaid. Or she could have went to a doctor's office and gave them a Medicaid card, and they trying to figure out how you got Medicaid, but you can write a 50+ thousand dollar check for plastic surgery.
yeah.
So it's not just about her having Medicaid and keeping it a secret. She
Hmm.
ran her mouth,
Right,
because
right.
that's what we like to do. We like to stunt and flex. And then you come back from the doctor with a new body,
Mm,
and you think that people aren't going to notice or ask
right.
how you got that,
Yeah.
or how you riding around in a Lamborghini when, let's
Everybody
just
else is
say,
kind of around you, kind
everybody
of
else
hurt.
in Baton Rouge, Louisiana, that everybody else is struggling, and you're driving in a new car with a new body and a new this and a new that, and
You
you
said with a
thought
new
nobody was
body.
gonna say anything.
Yeah, but you're right
Lady,
though.
lady, you're crazy for thinking that and doing that. And anything that's done in the dark will make its way to the light,
That's
regardless
true.
of what situation it is. It will be brought to the light, and it may not be in a way that is in your favor.
Right. That's true.
So I say this, listeners, if you think about committing fraud in the year of 2025, don't. Don't. If you got a business and you need Medicaid that bad, then you need to check your expenses and compare to what you bring at home. And you can still do it legally.
Yeah.
So
No, there is
sorry
ways
to
to
that
do
lady.
that. Yeah, and I think she messed up pretty bad by trying to be deceptive. That's not a way to do it. There's ways to go about it, right? And that wasn't the way to do it. And like you said, when you're out there doing that kind of stuff, you can't be out there flexing like that. Because to your point, not everybody gonna want happy for you. So they see you doing all this, and you coming back with new bodies and uh, got that Medicaid card. People gonna be looking side eye like, hmm.
Yeah, because I know I would. And it's not just because I'm jealous of you. It's because I generally want to know what you doing that I'm not. you
Well,
know?
yeah, and see that's where
So
I got a lot of people be getting caught up with this check fraud shit. Look, tap in, tap in,
yeah, and see
tap
the
in.
thing about the government, the thing about using services is you think you're not being tracked, but you are. They are watching everything that you do. And I know this because when I applied for Medicaid, they started asking me about vehicles that I don't even have no more. So it's a system behind the system. And if you think that people are not paying attention, they are. They're paying
Yeah,
attention and they're watching what you're doing. Even if you like my mom lady tell me, every closed eye sleep. I mean, every eye that's closed does not mean that they're asleep.
yeah, and the government will let you think you getting away with something too.
Yes, for a long time. For a long, they'll and just think about it with Epstein. They let him do that ring from 2000 and two or six till till him getting in jail. They let him run them up. Same thing with P Diddy. He been doing them sex parties for years,
Hmm.
running drugs for years, calling plays on people for years,
Hmm.
and now they decide to pull the plug on you.
Yeah,
So y'all just do the right thing. Do the right thing, and
there's
if
way
you
too
ain't
many
got it, ask
examples
for
out here to
help.
see. Yeah,
Ask for help. And I get it, it's hard out here, I get it, but doing fraud and then going from being out here free to being in
hmm.
a 3 by 3 foot cell, sharing your cell with 2 to 3 other people.
They ain't
No,
gonna like
that's
it.
not that's not a cute flex at all, just to have a banging body that you're gonna have to use your banging body in prison. And
Mm.
now you're gonna have, instead of fighting men's off of you, you're gonna have to fight studs off of you.
Mm. Man, oh
so
man.
So yeah. Okay. Next
Mm.
topic
Yeah.
in bizarre news. So this is local to me,
Hmm.
probably 15 to 20 minutes away. It was a man in Danville, Virginia. So they are close to the border of Virginia and North Carolina. So a councilman was doused in gas and set on fire.
Mm.
So let me pull this up.
Oh, hello. You there, Big Papa? Uh-oh. Looks like Big Papa may have fallen off. Let me go back here. Go back to what she was reading. Okay, so man admits he dumped gas on Danville councilman, set him on fire to kill him. Wow. This is from ABC 11 in North Carolina, Danville, Virginia. New details were released the day after a Danville City Council member was doused in gasoline and set on fire in what appeared to be a personal feud. Wow. Uh, That's kind of crazy. Police said the two men knew each other, and it appeared the attack stemmed from a personal matter and was not politically motivated. The councilman is identified as Lee Vogler, 38, and the suspect has been identified as Shotzi Michael Buck Hayes, 29, of Danville. Officers responded around 11 a.m. Wednesday to the 700 block of Main Street for a report of a man being set on fire. Good God. Vogler was airlifted to a regional medical facility for treatment. The full extent of the injury is not known. Wow. Witnesses told police a man went into Vogler's workplace, confronted him, and poured gas on him. Both men ran out of the building, and the suspect set Vogler on fire before running away. Acting on information from those witnesses, police found the vehicle several blocks away and took the driver into custody. Buck Hayes is charged with attempted first-degree murder and aggravated malicious wounding. During an interview with police, Buck Hayes admitted that he had dumped gasoline onto Vogler and that it was his intention to kill Vogler. According to court documents, he remains in the Danville City Jail under no bond. Yeah, that's where he needs to stay too. That's kind of crazy. According to the city of Danville, Vogler was elected to the city council in May 2012. Hold on. Looks like Big Papa came back. Let me bring her in. All right, Big Papa, I just sent you the co-host invite. Let me know if you got that. You should have the co-host invite. Vogler
Sorry,
was
y'all.
appointed. Okay, no worries. I was just reading the article. So yeah, the
Okay.
dude got gassed. Vogler was appointed by Virginia Governor Glenn Youngkin to the Virginia Small Business Commission 2022. With Wednesday's incident remains under investigation. So I read like the whole article basically. So like
Okay.
these two seem to have some beef. The councilman got basically this is just some white on white crime, y'all.
Yeah, and so he's at the UNC Ryan unit in Chapel Hill.
It's crazy.
So we
That
we're
is
gonna
bizarre
send
news.
prayers. Yeah, we're gonna send prayers out to that white man's family, and y'all setting people ablaze is not the answer.
It's never the
You
answer.
know,
My God, I don't know what the hell we got that nigga so mad. He had to set him on fire. Look, and he even admitted he had dumped gasoline onto Vogler and that it was his intention to kill Vogler. He told that to the police. He said, "Yes,
yeah,
I dumped gas on that man, and yes, I wanted to him." Good Lord,
right. All right. So,
damn.
y'all, if you are that mad to the point that you want to burn somebody, you want to catch them ablaze, and the thing is like you don't care who see it.
He didn't give a damn.
Most people
How
try to
many
do
witnesses
it
was
in
there?
private, but you did it
He
in
pulled up to
public in
that
front of
man's
everybody.
job and dumped gasoline on him.
So,
Oh my
America is
God.
getting to that point. America is getting to that point where you need to know who your foes are and protect yourself. Virginia is a state that you can carry in, and we don't know what type of jug was used that carried the gasoline in it or whatever. But I get it that the man ran out. He was trying to run away from the victim. But when you have, I mean, even if he was to shoot the man after being doused, he probably would have lit himself on fire. Is that right?
Mm. I don't know. Like I don't know if he had any gas on him or not, but I don't know.
No, I'm saying if he had put the gas on the Vogler guy,
Hmm.
and then the Vogler guy had a gun and shot him,
Hmm.
would he have still lit himself? Vogler would have lit himself
Oh,
on fire from shooting the guy.
that's a good question. I guess that's possible. It depends. Yeah, yeah.
So it's crazy out here, and so people are mixing together acid to throw acid on people. People
Mm.
are getting gasoline because they can't afford a piece of iron to kill a person. And some people are just downright evil. So sorry to that man. And we hope a full recovery. But his life will probably not ever be the same from this situation.
Yeah, I'd imagine not. I mean, no. Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Being set ablaze? No, buddy. Mm-mm. Wow. Okay. Man dies after being pulled into an MRI by a metal chain he wore. Oh my gosh. A man died last week after this is from CNN. A man died last week after being pulled into an MRI machine by a large metallic chain he was wearing around his neck, highlighting the importance of checking for any metallic objects before going near the powerful magnets used in a medical examining machine. The 61-year-old died a day after Nassau County police said he was pulled into the MRI machine at Nassau Open MRI in Westbury, New York, on Long Island. The victim was wearing a large metallic chain around his neck, causing him to be drawn into the machine, prompting an unspecified medical episode. The man's entry to the room while the scan was in progress was not authorized. Wow. So he just walked into a room where they were in the process of doing an MRI, it seems.
Now, well, what happened was is he was there with his wife. His wife
Oh.
was getting an MRI, and she started screaming. If those who never had an MRI, it's a long tube that you have to go into, and the tube is very tight. And so if you have claustrophobia, that can be a problem to some. And so I guess she was in the tube and she started screaming. The MRI tube is very loud because the machine is like going around in the tube. And so it's very loud, it's very tight. And on top of that, you got an IV hanging out your arm
Mm.
for the dye that has to go through your body to take the images.
Mm-hmm.
And so she was screaming, and he ran back there to see about his wife, ignoring all the signs, the saying, no jewelry. And when he went back there, he got sucked in.
That's crazy.
Yes. So very bizarre news. Unfortunately, I think he died, right?
Yes.
So y'all, this story is to say y'all need to mind y'all own business. I don't care who back there. It's medical staff at that facility. Okay. And I get that you love your partner, you love your wife. Your wife is screaming, whatever it is.
Mm-hmm.
At the end of the day, him trying to be super brother got him killed.
Mm. Yeah.
So sorry to that man. Um, my prayers are out for his wife, who she didn't expect something like that to happen. But when it comes to an MRI machine, the procedure is, they usually have lockers in the back, or they have a room where you can put all of your jewelry and stuff to the side. But there is signs everywhere around an MRI machine that you shouldn't have jewelry and things like that. But when your adrenaline is up, once again,
Mm-hmm.
your adrenaline is up, you're not thinking properly, you can kill yourself.
Yeah.
Well, or self delete yourself without realizing it, trying to save someone.
Yeah, I had an MRI done, I don't know how many years ago, and I remember I had to take my chain off, and they were very adamant about that. So,
Mm-hmm.
yeah. Yeah, so definitely sad to hear that, and prayers to that family. Um, estate. Well, hold on. Did we get everything? Oh, we have not. Our New York shooter. Goodness. Yeah,
Yeah.
let's go ahead and talk about that. Um, so as you all may or may not know, earlier this week there was a shooting in New York City. A gunman killed four, including a New York Police Department cop in Midtown Manhattan. We have
Mm.
this article from Fox News. A lone gunman walked into a Midtown Manhattan office building Monday afternoon and opened fire, killing four people, including an NYPD officer, before turning the gun on himself. Shane Tamura, a 27-year-old Las Vegas resident with a history of mental health issues, was identified as a shooter. The gunman drove across state lines with his vehicle, having been seen recently as 4:24 p.m. Monday in Columbia, New Jersey, not long before he unleashed a barrage of gunfire. There's videos and pictures of him walking up with the gun. Tamura, who had worked an overnight security job at the Horseshoe Las Vegas, did not show up for his last shift. The building Tamura entered and opened fire on was 345 Park Avenue. Is a commercial building where tenants include the NFL, Rooted Management, KPMG, and Blackstone. Blackstone is one of those big finance conglomerates that owns everything. A suicide
Mm-hmm.
or a S note, an unalive myself note, found in Tamura's possession claimed he was suffering from chronic traumatic intra something CTE. Okay, that's from like football players and shit. Oh yeah, because the dude was a football star or something, possibly from playing high
Yes.
school football, according to Tish. Earlier records show Tamura played football at Grenada Hills Charter in Grenada Hills, California, which is about 25 miles northwest of Los Angeles. So he played football at a charter school. And how old was this dude? He was 27 years old. So how long ago has it been since he was in charter school? Titch said the letter spoke to a possible motive, noting he blamed the NFL for his potential diagnosis and mentioned a 2013 Frontline documentary on CTE. Tamura also asked authorities to study his brain in the final message. Okay, well, if he turned the gun on himself, I don't know how that's going to work, but okay.
Mm-hmm.
He used an AR-15 style rifle, which was assembled by Tamura using a lower receiver purchased by an associate. So he built his own weapon. Police say Tamura is believed to have acted alone and there's no longer a threat to the community. Okay, so yeah, that was a little interesting that this man was able to walk. I mean, there's video of him just walking in Midtown Manhattan, allegedly one of the most secure places on the planet where you have cops everywhere. But he was somehow
Mm-hmm.
able to walk down in broad daylight into this building and kill four people, including a police officer. It's a little strange.
Yes, and so the gun was built. I believe he had the top portion of the gun, so the chamber and everything, but the second part of the gun, which is the trigger, that whole bottom part, he got that from a friend that he purchased it from in Vegas. So, um, that friend is also now included in this whole situation,
Mm-hmm.
this whole case. So right now they are trying to find out, was the part of the gun that his friend sold him, was it legally done? That means you have to go through an FFL location or gun shop
Mm-hmm.
to sell your part to somebody else so it can be done legally. That information hasn't came out yet.
Mm-hmm.
um and so in that S letter, he put in that letter that he was sorry to his friend for what he used the part for. So he told the law enforcement who it was that he got it from as well, which in my opinion was a pussy move.
Yeah, that
But
was
that
dumb.
bottom part, huh?
Yeah, that was dumb.
Yeah, that bottom part though has the serial number. So they were going to be able to locate it back to him anyway, to his friend, but
He could have made
still.
up something like that. Nigga stole it. Shit.
Right, right. But so I think that that whole part of it was messed up. Sorry to the four people who end up dying because of this. But it just brings back into question gun reform. Um, are the laws um that are in place right now good for those who have went through injuries like this brain damage that he got from football? Are the rules in football still okay, or do they need to be revised? Does helmets need to be revised because there's so many men having this injury, you know, and causing harm to other people because of a sport injury? So it just brings into a lot of different questions. And I think also they said that the guy who killed the four people, that he actually went to a hospital to try to get help, but he was refused from the hospital
Mm,
for getting help.
mm,
And in the end result, he still drove across the country to do this. So, I say all
right.
of that as a lesson that you need to know who your enemies are. Hello, Doll-like. Thank you for coming in. You should know who your enemies are and know who um uh the steps that somebody can take to in your life.
Mm,
And maybe it's something that you didn't even realize, that you would expect.
yeah.
Hi,
Hi
Delbert.
guys. What are we
Hello.
talking about?
We're talking about a lot of different things.
We were talking about the New York City shooter.
Oh, what's that? I have missed this entirely. What the hell?
Yeah, you would have to go back to reverse back on the show. So we're live on
Okay.
YouTube, so you can definitely reach out to us on YouTube, and you would be able to review it
Yeah,
or
let me
do a
look
Google.
real quick. This is
Yeah.
insane.
So Jay, do you want to continue on with the next part of the show?
Yeah. So the next thing we have here, um, I got the woman, got that, got that. Oh, whites only community plotting
If I
expansion
send a
to
pic of
another state.
Shannon, you ain't that sharp. Cause he
Yeah.
still can't spell
Yeah,
frog,
okay,
and
so
that's
let's
horrible. When you have faith in the
Protection
happens
Mom
for
pussy for the
phenomenal.
men. I'm so hot.
I was
Lick
trying to
my
mute them.
body.
Let's see.
I'm such a hot body. Put me in your
That's
Maserati.
funny.
Bitch is so jealous.
I like Shannon Sharpe too. But yeah. So
All
the
right.
next thing
So,
we moved on to whites only
yeah.
community plotting expansion to another state as its efforts to build a white nation continues. Ooh. So this is from the Independent. Whites only community plotting expansion to another state. Um, as far right in youth and wait ethno nationalist group that has set up a whites only community in a remote part of the Ozarks in northeastern Arkansas is reportedly exploring the possibility of expanding into Missouri. Return to the Land, RTTL, which describes itself as a private membership association for individuals with traditional views and European ancestry, opened its first community in Arkansas in October 2023, is now considering a second state, likely near Springfield. according to NBC. Blah 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 blah. The group is opposed to mass immigration, multiculturalism, and forced integration, and reportedly does not welcome non-white, non-Christian, or LGBT plus people, explaining that its members are seeking to separate ourselves from a failing modern society. It's crazy.
Mhm.
Oh,
Um,
does someone want to say something? As you have your hand raised. Dole.
yeah, no, I got everybody muted. We're at the end of the show.
Oh, okay. All right. Yeah, I guess I'll
Yeah,
have to wait till
so
next time.
yeah,
But yeah, what are
definitely
y'all
you
thought
can
on that?
tweet us or you can go to our YouTube live, leave some comments down in the comment section, and we will definitely battle in the comments.
For sure, for sure. But yeah, this is like I don't know how some places are even able to do that. I mean, I guess because they say it's private, but I mean, honestly, you ain't got to worry about black people trying to move into a community like that anyways. We don't want to be around people that don't want to be around us. So,
Yeah, I mean that's
kind
kind
of
of
what it
sort of
is.
where I'm at is that if you want a all white pro white community, then by all means please pull yourselves up together by your bootstraps and uh find a space for your non-seasoned chicken, non-seasoned beef, non-seasoned seafood, crunchy clothes, backwards thinking, no lotion wearing, sunburn burning, white, pure porcelain skin.
Mhm.
And honestly, I don't want to be around y'all anyway, so I'm glad that y'all are creating a community so we can pinpoint who y'all are, so that's perfect.
Yes.
Yes.
And all of you people put that weird shit in the thing. Y'all are so freaking weird. What is wrong with y'all? Oh my god,
Yeah, I'm
y'all are
seeing
weird.
a butt with it's crazy.
Yo, y'all are off the chain. Anyways,
Yeah.
gotta love the online, right?
hmm um
These are some of the people we're
so
talking about, by the way, family. In case you didn't know, these are the same ones we're talking about. These are the ones that want to
yeah.
live amongst their own communities, by the way. So this is what they're just gonna be doing to each other, doing all this kind of weird shit. So yeah, have at
Pretty
it.
much.
Oh, Rep Patty
um
LaBelle, you're the one that's putting all this weird shit in here. You're so weird. Patty LaBelle. Let me remove you. Such a
so
weirdo.
yeah. Um, so unfortunately, in this situation where we are is people want to be with their own kind. And I'm okay being around people of my own kind because we don't have to worry about killing each other, you know. We don't have to worry about that when somebody's pulling something out their pocket that is not a gun. We're not concerned about that, you know. But what I think they did here, and you and I talked about it privately, is that they wanted some type of outrage.
Yes.
They wanted an outrage from us and we're not, because actually we would prefer it. you know,
Exactly.
we would prefer for y'all to have y'all own space at this point, and we've talked about this in previous conversations, probably in a previous podcast, that uh, when this whole segregation thing happened, we wanted our own, and
Right.
somehow the man, whoever the man is, got into our black rights leaders to make them think that we all wanted to be like them.
And see,
When
that's the thing. Every time we like do something, they want to bring themselves into like our spaces that we don't ask them to be bringing themselves in.
yeah,
So
so you know, it's crazy.
Yeah.
Um, that is our last topic for the day. Um,
Yes.
and we are at the bottom of the show.
Yeah, we've
Once
been on
again,
here
we
for
want,
like what, 2 hours? Oh yeah, 1 hour 50 minutes. Jeez.
yeah. So, we're at the bottom of the show. If you, we would love to keep the conversation going in the comments. You can definitely tweet
Yes.
us. If you want to follow us separately, you can follow me, Mimi the Great, on all platforms. And Jay, you can follow him at.
JJ Deluxe Realty at JCJ08 stuff. You know, we're all over the place. We online. Just Google me.
Yes. And so, if you have any real estate needs and you're in North Carolina, South Carolina, Georgia,
Mhm.
definitely reach out to J Jordan Deluxe Realty, where this episode is being powered by. And we will see you guys next week.
Yes. On the next iteration of our Truth Power Perspectives broadcast, where we bring truth, power, and we love to share our perspective. Till next time.
Until next time.
All right.
Bye.
Bye.